Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk to you about concurrent training. A little bit of info about what it is, potentially how to structure your training now you're back in the gym, and some nutrition considerations to bear in mind as well. So during lockdown, a lot of us took up running, became a cyclist, and did more aerobic work because maybe we had limited kit or even no kit at home. Now the gyms are back open, more of us are transitioning back into the gym, but a lot of us are still thinking about doing those aerobic sessions at home or in the gym. So can we combine aerobic work with weight training, strength training, and still make progress? Well, typically, the old school science said that if you did both together, you would make no progress. However, there has been a lot more studies done, and particularly if you're newer to training, you can make great progress in both areas. Not only can you get fitter, faster by doing more aerobic training, you can also improve your muscle strength and fatigue by doing aerobic training and weight training as well. In terms of how to structure your training, what I would maybe suggest is that you don't want to do both types of training continuously all the time. You can still dip your toe in the water of both types, that's not a problem, but maybe follow it for maybe 6 to 8 weeks and then decide what your overall goal is. If you need to get stronger, you need to do more sessions in the gym, getting stronger. If you need to get fitter, you maybe need to spend more time on the machines, more time out on your bike, and more time running, okay? Pick your primary goal and nail it. If you're thinking about doing one session per day, it's recommended that you do your strength session first, when you've got the most amount of energy in your body to be able to move weight around, and then do your conditioning piece after. If you're looking at training twice per day, what I recommend is doing your aerobic session first thing in the morning, and then do your strength training, ideally at least 6 to 8 hours later. It gives your body a full chance to recover and also gives you an opportunity to take the right amount of nutrition on board in between those sessions. Ideally, if you can also split your body up in terms of using your lower body for conditioning and using your upper body for weight training, it's going to minimize potential kind of muscle soreness and muscle overload as well. So some nutritional considerations, what kind of things do we need to be aware of? Well, number one, if we're training twice a day, like nutrient timing becomes really important. We need to make sure we are replenishing glycogen, potentially through fast absorbing and digesting carbohydrate sources in between that first session, because your post-workout meal technically becomes your pre-workout meal for later on that second session. It may be worth looking at taking a protein shake or a recovery drink, within 30 to 45 minutes of that first session, and then have a good meal within another half an hour or so. Depending on your time of your next session, you either want to have a meal 2 to 3 hours before, or a snack 60 to 90 minutes before your second session. Again, if we can, prioritize protein and carbs in these snacks and meals. Keep yourself well hydrated not only during the sessions, but throughout the day as well. Commonly, we get asked about training fasted. It's really a personal preference. Sometimes we don't want to get up at 4:30, 5 in the morning and think about having something to eat. So a liquid nutrition option could be absolutely fine. A small protein shake, some coconut water, a glass of fruit juice, just to give you some carbs. Even some dried fruit can work really well. If you're used to training fasted and happy training fasted, then do it. No problem at all. Just be aware that if there's no pre-workout nutrition, your post-workout nutrition does become really, really important. It's going to obviously kickstart that recovery process. And if you're training again later in the day, it's going to help fuel that later session. So some things to kind of think about. Again, think about structuring your training. More is not always better. So sometimes training 5-6 times a week, individual sessions per day, you'll actually make better progress than trying to train twice a day, 5-6 days a week. If you are doing one session per day, maybe prioritize what your goal is. If you're trying to get stronger, do that first. Make sure you're well fueled and you can attack that session. If you're trying to get a bit fitter, well, maybe do your running or your cycling first, and then you could always do some strength training afterwards. If you are doing 2 sessions in a day, rehydrate, replenish those muscles, and keep on top of your recovery. Hit your protein targets and eat plenty of fruit and veg to help minimize muscle soreness and reduce any inflammation in the body. Hope this video helped you out. If you've got any questions around training structure or nutrition considerations, drop it in the comments below, and I'll speak to you guys soon.